Court in the Heller case, that he did not see in the Constitution a right, an individual right, to keep and bear an arm in your own home. So I would have to ask the Attorney General of the United States, if he believes that you don't have the right to keep and bear arms in your own home, then where exactly, geographically, would you have a right to keep and bear them? And I think we know the answer to that question.
Well, he's got firearms. He's got bodyguards. You know,
he's better than you, Alex.
It's come out that Sarah Brady, who wants to disarm us, she's got bodyguards.
Yeah, I think one of her kids got a gun surreptitiously through her one time a few years ago. It was quite embarrassing, you know. Didn't go through instant check. You know, I mean, the whole thing is a farce, Alex.
It's like the politicians. It's come out in the news. The majority of Congress doesn't pay income taxes. He keeps having to get rid of his appointees because they don't pay taxes. The guy running the Treasury, Geithner, doesn't pay his taxes, but that's okay.
So tell me how that isn't the pinnacle of hypocrisy. Geithner is supposed to run the Treasury Department. The Treasury Department sits on top of the IRS. His deal is like, who cares? But some of the other so-called appointees, they forgot a few things, and they can't serve office. But the guy who's going to run the IRS, it's okay that he doesn't pay his taxes.
And he's one of the guys in the 90s, along with Summers and Greenspan and all of them, that changed the Glass-Steagall Act and others so the banks could set up these Ponzi schemes with derivatives and these financial instruments.
Yeah, it's basically, Alex, what we're talking about is a bunch of arch criminals.
I've got another Obama lie. I've got one of the bigger ones. He said that he was putting caps on CEO salaries, which is actually bad enough because it's socialism and fascism and control. But he doesn't doing that. Even mainstream media had to admit all the major banks and brokerage firms were exempt, and smaller firms in the future, it would be on the honor system. So he gets up and says, hey, this is a quote, this is outrageous. These people, we like to reward success in this country, but rewarding failure with these $100 million bonuses and things, it's wrong. And hey, we're putting an end to it. And then you read the executive order and it says that's not going to do anything. I mean, I have to tell you, you're right. He is worse than Slick Willie. He is worse than George Bush. I mean, he has taken arrogant, 100% lying, hugging old ladies. Oh, I'm going to help you, ma'am. Don't worry. And he knows he's slitting their throat politically.
Absolutely. The guy is a walking, talking lie machine. But again, it's the same old thing. You keep saying it over and over and over again. When you change administrations, it's management team A being replaced by management team B.
And then the Republicans who are in power, they go back into the foundations and corporations, and the Democrats that were in the foundations and corporations, they go into government. And then when the Democrats leave, the Republicans will come back out. So you've got CFR and Trilateral Commission and Bilderberg Group Team A, and Trilateral Commission, CFR, Bilderberg Group Team B, and they just rotate, and it's a cash machine between them.
Yeah, and Brzezinski, for example, he plays both sides of the issue. He was McCain's advisor back in 2000, Brzezinski, and he's Obama's advisor last year. I mean, come on.
And now he's concerned. He's very concerned about the elite bankers and how there's going to be civil war in America.
Just read Brzezinski. Anybody who doesn't want to believe this, just read Brzezinski. The guy is a Marxist, and he's proud of it.
And then he claims he's anti-communist and wants to blow Russia to kingdom come.
Sure he is. Sure. Again, consummate liars, all of them. And with the thing, when I first met you, Alex, you were kind of over the top for me because I was a conservative Republican type. And I always checked out everything you said because, whatever it was, I didn't believe it. I always had to check it out. And, the problem was everything you said turned out to be right. And it finally got through to me that maybe I ought to stop bothering to check out what you say.
No, you should always check out.
I still do. I still do.
Because you'll find even more of what I'm saying.
But the problem is all of these years, all the stuff you said, and some of the stuff that you said that was like wild out there is in our face right now. And it's frightening. And you're saying, you always say, well, I'm not brilliant. I just read their stuff. And it is true. You document your stuff. You read their documents. You look at the reports. You go to the Army's own deal about the prison camps, and you read about that. I remember back when I first met you, you were screaming about having to get a driver's license and how it was a federal program and it was all illegal.
Federal standardized biometrics for Pentagon control, and now they admit all that.
Yeah, and now they admit all that. And so, what's going on here? You obviously know what's going on, and of course, your success as a broadcaster, I think, mirrors the fact that you've been telling the truth all these years.
Well, there's a lot of COINTELPRO attacks on us, too, and that's why I just ask people to realize there's an agenda, judge a tree by its fruits, and we have been very successful at reaching people, and that's how we gauge success, not monetarily, but by how many people we reach, and we have reached hundreds and hundreds of millions of people, and that's what's exciting. You know, we have over 120,000 downloads a day just to the free podcast. We're number one on Shoutcast for internet radio show, not just for music, but talk. We are reaching more and more people on the AM and FM dial with mom and pop stations that put us on. But what I'm most proud of that I've been able to do, the only reason I'm talking about this is because the TV cameras are here and want me to talk about what we've done, is that so many people, young, old, black, white, you know, in Israel or Saudi Arabia or in Germany or in China or Japan or Mexico or Canada, the U.S., they start radio shows. They make successful films. They make documentaries. They run for office. They defeat criminal legislation. And they tell me, Alex, it was your show, your films. I'm talking over 80% of the time. I say, what woke you up? Or they volunteer it. And to me, that's a microcosm of what all of this new alternative media is doing. They are spurring people not to even buy their line of information, because none of us are infallible. You know, all of us look through rose-colored, darkly. But that they are now generating and spawning whole new generations of people, and it's exponential. Yeah. And so to realize the power of the human spirit and the power of taking action, that's what's exciting.
Yeah, because, you know, you woke me up back in 1998, and I was dragged kicking and screaming into all this for my conservative Republican slumber that I was in. And as a result of that, you know, I got this local TV show, The Simple Truth. I've been on the air for 10 years now, almost. And now, through volunteer efforts, we've got a website, simpletruthonline.net, and they archive our TV shows.
And now you write for the New American Magazine, reaching millions. I mean, you're having a huge effect.
Yeah, and I'm just a guy who owns a hardware store, you know. I mean, think about that. Just
that's another thing. The elite teach us that we have to only listen to their experts and their people, and that we're all a bunch of idiots. Instead, it really is the people that, that's where the answer is based. I want to get into how you think this is going to go with Obama, their front man. And we need to stress, he's just a pathetic puppet, just like George Bush. And when they're done with him, they're going to blame their whole agenda on him, pull him out like Birdcage Liner, and put in a new Republican clean Birdcage Liner. Then the New World Order Bird's going to destroy that. They'll put in a new minion. We've got to quit this Groundhog Day of over and over and over again buying the same garbage as they put their puppet on the left or right.
Newsflash. Unemployment is soaring over 10%. The dollar is plummeting, and banks are beginning to close their doors. Financial experts are saying we are headed for an economic depression. The world is on the brink of total meltdown. Unless you expect the government to bail you out, you must be able to grow your own healthy food. Newsflash. SurvivalistSeeds.com has just released a brand new heirloom seed pack at a dramatically reduced price. So you and your family have a long-term food solution. The choice between starvation and freedom is made by you right now. Go to SurvivalistSeeds.com. That's SurvivalistSeeds.com, because you are almost out of time. SurvivalistSeeds.com.
A day unlike any other in the long course of American history, a terrorist act of war against this country.
The enemy struck America on September 11th. But who is the enemy?
Bin Laden. This is his MO.
We have to look to the Middle East. We have to look to Osama bin Laden.
Fabled Enemies is the first 9/11 film to take a close look at the terrorist ties to intelligence networks inside the United States.
Some U.S. investigators believe that there are Israelis again very much engaged in spying in and on the U.S.
I'm aware that some Israeli citizens have been detained.
Bin Laden's connections to the CIA, the hijackers' ties to the FBI, the Saudi Arabian connection, the Israeli intelligence network, warnings and war games, the shadow government, and much, much more. Fabled Enemies. Get the DVD at Infowars.com or see it in super high quality, along with hundreds of other titles at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Ted Anderson from Midas, February 19, 2009. Gold opened at $981.40. 1 ounce gold coins can be purchased for $1,919, $504.59 for half, $252.30 for quarter. That's $1,919, $504.59, and $252.30. We all want liberty. Some give their lives for it, a price that cannot be taken for granted. We forfeit bites and pieces of our freedom for what? February 28th, Minnesota Campaign for Liberty will host Tom Woods, best-selling author of The Meltdown, Professor Butler, author of Trade on the Great Depression, and Bill Butler to cover monetary policy. This workshop will empower you to be effective at meetings and conversations. With advanced discounts, the cost is $20, a small price for liberty. Go to MNC4L.com. That's MNC4L.com. Become a part of the solution. Go to MNC4L.com.
You worry. You see the signs and worry about the future. You worry about economic turmoil and food shortages. How to be prepared while preserving your sanity.